There are quite a few luxury car brands in the world, but only a few of them are dynamic enough to fit the needs of every member of the society. Whether you are a young, single individual or someone with a big family, there is a prestigious BMW car that fits your needs. Besides cars, BMW also produces some of the world's best motorcycles. However, before all that, when it was first founded, the company actually specialized in aircraft engines. There's a lot to say about the success and multifunctionality of BMW, and it has more major achievements on its resume than we could count. But we are here to give you a gist of why this manufacturer has stood the test of time and remains a household name around the world today. Stay with us as we tell you the story of BMW and its establishment. 3 men contributed to the foundation of BMW: Camillo Castiglioni, Franz Joseph Popp, and Karl Rapp. The story of how these 3 individuals came together is quite an interesting one. Let's learn a little bit about how each of their backgrounds led them to the establishment of what would become a multinational company in the world. Among the 3 founders, Franz Joseph Popp was perhaps the most influential in the formation of BMW. Born in 1886 in Vienna, he was the child of a German-Italian family. He graduated university with a degree in engineering in 1901, after which he joined famous Viennese company AEG as their electrical engineer. He also served as a marine engineer in another corporation during the World War. He did serve in the military for a short period of time, but was called back to Vienna to monitor an aircraft engine production. He also oversaw projects at NAG and Benz. While going back to serve in the military in Pula, Popp was introduced to Rapp Engine Works in Munich. There, his creative input was used to come up with a unique product that would replace their successful aircraft engine. Eventually, he was appointed as the director of the company, replacing Karl Rapp, with whom he would later collaborate. Karl Rapp was the founder and manager of Rapp Engine Works. He was born in 1882 and was a German engineer. He was first hired by Zoop Automotive to work as their engineer around 1908, but he later joined Daimler Motor and Gesellschaft and worked with them as a technical designer in 1912. A year after that, in 1913, he founded the Rapp Engine Works company with Julius Alspitzer. Rapp handled the operational side of the business, working on building different types of engines. The company was quite successful and expanded quickly with over 300 workers in 1915. However, the engine prototypes designed for aircrafts by Rapp were unfortunately a failure. That's when Popp came into the picture. The 2 future partners met when Popp managed the design and manufacture of the aircraft engines that were later used in the army. After that, when Popp officially became the manager, the company specialized in airplane engines. The most successful aero engine was called BMW IIIA, and it marked the beginning of BMW. Castiglioni is the last but definitely not the least member involved in BMW's foundation. Camillo Castiglioni was born in 1879 in Trieste. He was actually a lawyer and practiced law for a really long time, but he was really interested in flying, so much so that he set up and funded his own aero club. When it comes to BMW, Castiglioni had great influence on the legal and financial matters of the company. He acquired several licenses for the enterprise, and in 1922 he purchased the equipment required for its operation and engine production. He also bought the know-how and the name rights for BMW AG. He had a very important role in the expansion of the company. He was also a member of the supervisory board. However, in 1924, when he faced financial issues and bankruptcy, he was forced to sell his share of the company. Nevertheless, he was undoubtedly a key player in the success of BMW. Now that we know about the 3 geniuses behind the brand, let's go over some of the highlights from the company's rich history. Don't forget to like and share this video before moving on to the rest of our story. BMW began operating in 1916 under another name, but in 1922, the name was officially changed to BMW, with Popp as its CEO. Karl Rapp, who was also considered a key founder of the company, left BMW right after it was renamed and joined Reidlinger Machine Factory as chief engineer. BMW began its operations with Popp's plants. Initially, it only manufactured engines, especially air engines, but in 1923, the business attempted to make complete vehicles with a plan for a motorcycle. The design and layout of their first motorcycle is still a trademark of BMW motorcycles. The company also became an automobile manufacturer when it acquired a vehicle production company in 1928. After that, the first BMW car, Dixi, was released in 1932. Over the next decade, BMW released several luxury cars. Unfortunately, during the Second World War, the BMW factories were left in ruins after a bomb attack. While trying to revive its automobile and engine production plants, BMW sold bicycles, pots, and pans to keep on its feet. It also specialized in making engines for military aircrafts. By 1948, BMW was able to revive its plants and factories, and operations restarted in the company. The first post-war release of BMW was the R24 motorcycle, which became very popular with German citizens. However, the end of the World War also marked Popp's failure in managing BMW. Apparently, he had poorly managed the company's labor forces and finances. So after the war, his attempt to go back to the board of supervisors failed, and he was no longer in charge of big decisions in the company. Following this big change, Popp moved to Stuttgart, where he stayed until his death in 1954. In 1959, BMW faced some financial issues and was on the verge of being sold because it was unable to cover the costs. In order to prevent this, they had to come up with a great idea, and eventually they did. They produced the BMW 700, which saved the company from going under. In 1961, BMW released the 1500 four-door touring car, and it became an instant hit, so much so that demands were exceeding the company's expectations and they were unable to actually make profits from this vehicle until 1963. Things were going well for the enterprise, and in 1972 it opened its first factory out of Germany in South Africa. Around the same time, the enterprise also built its famous headquarters tower, which is called the Four-Cylinder Building in Munich. The building, along with the BMW museum next to it, are now landmarks and tourist sites. Its next important plant is located in the US. This is the plant that produces some of BMW's most famous models today, such as X5 and 56. BMW also has some of the greatest acquisitions in the history of business on its resume. In 1994, BMW purchased the Rover Group, which involves huge names like Land Rover, MG, Triumph, and a few other brands. 4 years later, in 1998, BMW also bought Rolls-Royce's naming rights, and in 2003 gained all rights of the company after negotiations with Volkswagen, its previous owner. The famous Phantom series was the result of BMW's acquisition of Rolls-Royce, and its first model was released in 2003. Flash forward to 2011, when BMW's decision-makers came up with a brilliant way to extend their business. Aside from their already successful resume in car manufacturing, they launched a car-sharing venture called Drive Now, which is available in many cities around the world, from Europe to the US. 3 years later, in 2014, BMW released the i3 electric car to show its dedication to the environment and sustainability. In fact, that was the aim of the entire new i3 series by BMW. In 2018, BMW built a €1 million car factory located in Hungary, one of its many valuable plants. In the same year, they released a semi-autonomous motorcycle which promoted road safety, a model that brought about a revolution in the motorcycle world. Today, BMW has some of the world's best cars and motorcycles to its name. In 2022, over 2.5 million BMW cars were sold, and that does not even include the brands under its wing like Rolls-Royce. Generation after generation, series after series, the models become better, safer, and more technologically advanced. It's safe to say that BMW is a trendsetter in the industry, and by the looks of it, it will remain as one for a long time. We hope you enjoyed this breakdown of BMW's complicated yet intriguing history. If you liked this video, tune in to another one to learn about one of BMW's sub-companies, Rolls-Royce.